I want to start this video with a simple question. What is the aim of cinema? Is it to simply entertain? Or maybe to educate? To spread an idea, theme, or message? To connect us to a character? To take us on an emotional journey? To change our perspective? The American film critic Roger Ebert once said, "Empathy is the most essential quality of civilization, and movies are like a machine that generates empathy. It helps us to identify with the people who are sharing this journey with us. It is the most noble thing that good movies can do, and it is a reason to encourage them, and to support them, and to go to them." Following on from Ebert's point, and as an extension of empathy, I think one of the greatest aims of cinema is to create a powerful catharsis for the audience. Firstly, let's look at what catharsis is and why it is important. The idea of catharsis was first identified in Aristotle's Poetics as the purification and purgation of the emotions pity and fear. According to Irish philosopher Richard Carney, Aristotle believed that art can heal and make for better citizens by virtue of purging pity and fear. That if these emotions were left to their own devices, they would go towards extremes, such as over-identification, irrationalism, cruelty, and indifference. This idea about the importance of catharsis was later analysed by physician Joseph Breuer and psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud in their book, Studies on Hysteria. They suggested that catharsis could be achieved using different therapeutic techniques, a process to bring unconscious emotions to the surface so that they could be finally expressed and then released. Now let's look at some examples. Professor Eva Schapper noted that Aristotle's catharsis theory only remarks on the effects of tragic stories. However, I would argue catharsis can be achieved in any genre, as long as there is a positive change arc overcoming repressed emotions. This can include examples in rom-coms and musicals. For example, look at this brilliantly written scene by Nora Ephron in the 1989 classic When Harry Met Sally.
I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
You see? That is just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you. And I hate you, Harry. I really hate you.
In this moment, Sally initially states that she hates Harry, a clear defense mechanism used to combat any fear or doubt about committing to a romantic relationship. Harry remains patient as she works through these emotions, and Sally finally achieves catharsis, letting go of her fear, and they kiss. Moving on, now let's look at Nolan's 2010 masterpiece, Inception. This case study is particularly interesting as it uses the idea of catharsis and incorporates it into the centre of the psychological heist. The film therefore attempts to achieve two key moments of catharsis, one for their target, Cillian Murphy's Fisher, and one for our protagonist, DiCaprio's Cobb. In one scene, Nolan identifies catharsis as the key objective for the heist, and thus establishing it as one of the core themes for the film. He does this through the use of Cobb's dialogue.
We need to plant it deep in his subconscious. The subconscious is motivated by emotion, right? Not reason. We need to find a way to translate this into an emotional concept.
How do you translate a business strategy into an emotion?
That's what we're here to figure out, right? Now, Robert's relationship with his father is stressed, to say the least.
Well, can we run with that? I could suggest to him breaking up his father's company as a screw you to the old man.
No, because I think positive emotion trumps negative emotion every time. We all yearn for reconciliation, for catharsis. We need Robert Fisher to have a positive emotional reaction to all this.
All right, we'll try this. My father accepts that I want to create for myself, not follow in his footsteps.
That might work.
Later, we see this emotional heist achieved when Fisher finally discovers his father's true intentions.
I know you were disappointed. I couldn't be you.
No. I was disappointed.
We just tried.
We also see Cobb's catharsis achieved when he lets Mal go. In an act of self-awareness, he states,
You said you dreamt that we'd grow old together.
But we did. We did, you don't remember. I miss you more than I can bear, but we had our time together. And I have to let you go.
ultimately culminating in the ability to finally see his kids. Before I explore how to write catharsis in your own stories, I want to quickly take a look at Kenneth Lonergan's 2016 tragedy, Manchester by the Sea, as it is a film that purposefully doesn't let you feel emotional catharsis, shown in this scene.
I want you to be happy.
I see you walking around here, and I just want to tell you.
I would want to talk to you, Randy.
Please,
Please, please,
you gotta. I don't know what. I don't want to torture you.
You're not torturing me.
I just want to tell you that I was wrong.
No. You don't understand, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
That's not true.
There's nothing there. I'm serious. You don't understand. And I don't know what this... I know you understand. I've got to go. I'm sorry.
Kenneth Lonergan conveys through the dialogue how our protagonist, Lee Chandler, is still unable to forgive himself and achieve emotional catharsis. Lonergan's point being, there are certain traumas that can't simply be overcome in one conversation. Some traumas take much longer to overcome, if at all. The film ends without a big release, but rather a subtle and simple step in the right direction. Lee adds one more room to his apartment for his nephew Patrick to stay. A small gesture of growth, but without powerful catharsis. Looking at this example, it is clear to see catharsis is not always the goal. As de Guzman notes, although catharsis can make a film incredibly memorable and moving, some films can function without it. The audience can still empathize with the protagonist without an emotional release. And sometimes this is more impactful in order to make a psychological or social statement about character growth, or lack thereof. This example should provide evidence to help us understand where and when we might want to use catharsis, whether you want to reward the audience with positive character growth or not. On confirming that you do intend to show cathartic development, now let's look at how we can write this. My favourite film is Good Will Hunting. I love this film because it perfectly encapsulates how friends and a mentor can help break down your defense mechanisms in order to become a better and more willing person. It is a film that puts psychological theory at the forefront and understands how character growth occurs. I would quickly like to shout out Brian Brittner's brilliant analysis of Good Will Hunting over at Lessons from the Screenplay, as they identified this too, and found that catharsis lies within 3 elements of the narrative. How the wound of the protagonist that was caused by a previous trauma creates unconscious defense mechanisms, and how the environment, whether from external events or the supporting characters, slowly break down these defense mechanisms in order to reveal the pain underneath so it can be finally expressed and then released. When writing powerful catharsis, you must understand these fundamental characteristics of narrative that date back to Aristotle's Poetics, as he also knew that the greater the build-up and repression, the greater the release. Going back to my initial question, what is the aim of cinema? I hope now we can identify this narrative process of catharsis as a noble aim. An aim spared for those positive change arcs, whereby the audience joins the protagonist on a journey to overcome past trauma and move peacefully into the future.